morning, everyone. It's Amanda Aguilard. I'm happy to see lots of friendly faces popping in. It looks like people are jumping in, so I'll take just a second and let everyone get settled. So this is a little bit about me. What you really need to know is that I've been using Xero a long time because I love it. I started my practice back in 2012 in New Orleans and picked Xero really early on. So because I was pretty early in that adoption, kind of had to figure my way around. So in doing that, just figured out a lot of things early. It's kind of like the frontier back in 2012 and 13 in the cloud, and use that knowledge to co-found Elephant with Monica. Okay, here's our plan for today. So this summer I wrote a book on Xero. It'll be out in the spring. It's called Xero, A Comprehensive Guide for Accountants and Bookkeepers. And in writing that book, I realized there were pieces of Xero that had either been developed or tremendously improved in the last, let's say, year or 2 years that I didn't really understand. And so I figured if I didn't understand those functions and those modules fully, there were probably a lot of other folks who didn't as well. So I decided we would do this as a webinar. This webinar is going to be almost entirely in Xero. So I just want to give you the slides so you can know where we're going, but then we're going to jump over to Xero and be in Xero for pretty much the whole time. So the first thing we're going to cover is short-term cash flow. This is an in-product dashboard that Xero added recently, and also business snapshot, also another in-product dashboard that Xero has added. So we'll cover those and talk about what makes up the tiles and the pieces and how those can be customized. We're going to talk briefly about custom chart of accounts. So you guys may not have seen it on your side. I think it is still in beta to be released fully soon, but I am going to show you what you're going to be able to see for custom chart of accounts in Xero HQ. Report templates. Report templates is probably one of the biggest time savers in Xero for your practice. So we're going to talk about how to manage that and dive in a little bit deep on some things that may not be as clear. So we're going to talk about some special customization and report templates. And then if we have time at the end, we'll touch just briefly on Budget Manager. Okay, I think everybody, since you guys have been on Xero for a while, for the most part, you should all probably know that Xero does have a demo company available to all users. It is populated with some data, so you can get in and you can play around and then you can reset it. So we use the demo company tons when we're doing training, and I find it's pretty helpful if you want to just test something, especially if you want to test integrations. Using the demo company is pretty useful. So everybody's got access. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that. I'm going to make my screen a little bigger so it's easier for you guys to see. We're going to roll over to the next piece, which is Business Snapshot. It's similar in that it is a pre-built dashboard that's just included. You don't have to really do anything. It's just included. It is formatted. It is not very customizable, but again, it's easy. So let's take a look at Business Snapshot and what is available here for you. Business Snapshot has basic metrics about the company using graphics. Now, most of these metrics are comparative, meaning we need comparative data. So we need more than 1 month's worth of data, right? So it's not going to be too meaningful if we're only using if we are trying to do this in a brand new org. We need some comparative data. So because it's my demo company and it doesn't have a whole lot of stuff in it, let's try pulling up a different period. So these are our only customization options. All we can do is change the period that this dashboard is going to cover. And our choices are not great. They're last month, last quarter, last year, or year to date. Can anybody foresee a problem with this? Last month is probably pretty useful. Same thing with last quarter is probably pretty useful. But because we can't customize this date range yet, hopefully Xero will fix this. But because we can't customize it yet, if you want a dashboard for a certain period, you have to run that dashboard immediately. So if I'm sitting here on, today's December 1st, and I want the last month, I've got to run that report today to get the last month. I can't run it for just October. I can't run it for just July. So what that means is that this is super useful, but you need to get on top of it and run it for the period you need. Okay, so let's talk about what's on this dashboard. There are 3 sections: profitability here, efficiency, and financial position and cash. So this dashboard's broken up into these three sections, and we'll talk about what each of these is and how they're calculated. So on the profitability section, this first third dissects the net income from the company. Okay, it's talking about profit. So the profit or loss tile on the left is going to show the excess or shortage of revenues over expenses on an accrual basis. So just want to make it clear, all the dashboard metrics are based on the accrual basis. So it's telling us what is our profit, right? It's very simple. The income figure is showing us the sum of all transactions, again on an accrual basis, for general ledger accounts that are coded to the revenue type. Okay, so if anything that's coded to revenue in the chart of accounts is going to be included to this in this income line. Same thing with expenses. So this is expenses showing accrual basis transactions coded to direct costs, expense, overhead, or depreciation account types. This cost of goods sold number is a subset of expenses, only including direct costs. And then operating expenses will be the remaining expenses. So if our total is $46.74, and we had, in this case, we don't have any cost, the remaining amount would be the $46.74. The next section is efficiency. So this examines margins on earnings. It highlights operating expenses. The gross profit margin tile shows the percentage by which revenue exceeds cost of goods sold. In our case, we have no cost of goods sold, so we have 100% margin. If you have a client that has actual cost of goods sold, this will clearly be different. And then largest operating expenses, these are the top 5 non-cost of goods sold expenses by dollar amount. And then the final section on the business snapshot is financial position. So this is basically pieces of the balance sheet. So this balance sheet here is clearly very simple, but for our clients, it's very nice for them to have a picture instead of basically a spreadsheet. They can see visually assets to liabilities, and then how much on the right they have equity. Overall cash balance is a summary of any general ledger account type bank. And then on the right, average time to get paid and average time to pay suppliers. This is kind of a little bit of a wonky calculation, but it's basically like days of sales outstanding. So Xero takes the average either AP or AR balance on the first day of the period and the last day of the period, divides it by 2, and then uses that to create these calculations. So anybody have thoughts about how this might be helpful for clients? Any ideas? Managing expenses? Yeah, Charlotte's saying managing expenses. I mean, even just to have this tile here is helpful to our clients. Again, our clients, a lot of our clients, not all of them, but a lot of them like pictures. They like to see visual cues about what they're doing well and what they're not doing well. Carrie's mentioning gives great talking points during the meetings. Absolutely. So to that, I want to make sure that you guys see there is a little print button up at the top where you can print this dashboard out. That's something you can add to your to your consulting or advisory packages along with the financial statements. So I have a feeling that Xero is going to spend some time really developing this out and making it more customizable. But it's a pretty good start, and it's included in your subscription, so it's already here. So Gina's saying this doesn't filter tracking categories yet. No, I mean, this is not a replacement, I think, for a serious advisory dashboarding tool, but for a lot of clients, like we have some very small clients, this can be a great start, and it can be kind of like a small taste of what true dashboarding will look like for our micro clients. And again, I'm happy to answer any last minute questions. You can reach me at amanda@elephanttraining.com. Okay, hope everybody has a great rest of the day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.